That's fair. That's very fair. What is your name, young master?
Here.
He doesn't know.
Tell them your name.
Give him a moment. We're putting him on the spot.
Indeed.
Master Ezra Dr.
That is a fantastic name.
Very
My
well met,
goodness.
sir. Such good manners. Where do you visit from, Master Ezra?
I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, indeed, fine colony. Fine colony.
I've met very fine people from North Carolina.
I've been to Virginia before,
Oh,
but
indeed.
only in the I've been to the Blue, because I have been to the Blue Ridge Mountains, but never to this.
This one.
Oh, we call the area the Tidewater.
Civilized, very civilized.
Oh, civilized, indeed.
Look at that compliment. Master Ezra, did you like the Blue Ridge? I've never been.
I don't recall any memories from being at the Blue Ridge. I just remembered.
We haven't.
I just know
that
that
was
I've
a
been
while
there.
ago. That was when you were 4?
Oh, I see.
Master
Oh,
Ezra, I have
did you
another-
tell them what special day is today?
Today would be my day of birth.
Oh, very good.
Many happy returns. Many happy returns. Very well.
So
Happy
you
birthday
decided
to
to come
you.
to our fine city for your birthday.
No, she did.
Mother knows best,
She
yes?
does,
Yeah, and she knows how to keep it a secret.
Not anymore.
Yeah, Master
Oh,
Ezra.
have we embarrassed you?
No.
Oh, very
very
good. Master
I'm
Ezra,
never
I have a question
embarrassed.
for you,
Well,
sir.
He has a question.
I
Listen.
apologize profusely for interrupting your train of thought. How old are you
Uh,
now, as
9,
today?
10 years of age.
Oh, you're
10
the
years
first
of
decade
age.
under your
Very
belt.
good.
Are you
First
looking?
double digits.
One
Are you
decade
looking
down,
for an
9 years ago.
apprenticeship?
Are you looking for an apprenticeship? He's really good at washing dishes.
Oh, is it?
he?
That's useful. That's
Perhaps
very
he might be
useful.
able to assist you, my brother.
I've been looking for one.
Good
Hello.
afternoon, madam.
Well, Master Ezra, I can certainly say, when going into the medicinal trades, as Dr. Square and I are, we look for children who have very attentive minds and, of course, very good manners.
Now, before you attempt to press him into your service, do you know what you want to do with your one and precious life, Master Ezra?
Well, I was looking into possibly going into some work of some kind of mechanicalism.
Oh, an engineer.
Oh, I do love taking things apart.
do you like to
putting-
rebuild them again?
Yeah.
Right, that's
Oh,
important.
very good. Do
I
you know-
get in trouble when I take things apart.
That sounds like our dear brother Patrick. For once, father, he came home and he had a mantelpiece clock, and he was so
Yes.
pleased about it. And then
Oh.
Patrick thought that he would take it apart very quickly and then rebuild it because he wished to see how it worked. Do you think it's a very good idea to take apart a magic clock?
What's a map?
A clock? Do you know, with all of the tiny
Oh,
little
yes,
gears and
yes,
everything made
yes.
just so? And so,
Nay,
dear Patrick, you were exactly right. Nay, this is a very wrong choice. Patrick ruined something that I think cost the pop £3.
3.5 pounds.
Oh,
to my
my
recollection. I'll say this, young Master Ezra. When you take things apart, do you take notes on everything you take?
Learn from our dear brother
Exactly
Patrick.
right. He began
As
to
you
do so
take it
after the
apart, make a note of what you have taken off and where it goes so that you can reassemble it again.
There was the issue of another
I will
device.
say Patrick could not sit slander. I like
In this time of
Indeed.
history, what year would it be?
this is the year of our Lord 1774.
Well,
So that was last year.
No, it's this year.
Wait,
No.
which one are we talking about?
Yes.
What
year
were
are
you going to
talking
ask them about them?
it has come to my ear that a band of colonists dressed as Mohawk Indians and boarded 3 ships and dumped many chests of tea into Boston Harbor
Indeed.
to protest the tax on tea
Quite right.
by
Yes, we
King
have that
George.
the same.
Indeed, and Parliament. Don't
Oh,
forget Parliament.
do you know, it is not His Majesty the King who is exacting taxes upon us. His Majesty the King has no authority to levy a tax on his subjects. It is His Majesty's Parliament that does this. So, I don't take issue with your being upset about it, but just remember where blame lies.
No, I agree with that because they thought they did what they felt was right for their freedom and liberty.
I understand that, but do you know, this tax on tea, this bloody tax on tea that everyone's always talking about, do you know how much the tax was?
Very,
Threepence a pound.
Well, that's not the.
3 pennies. And it wasn't even the only kind of tea that you could buy. It was one might say, particular seller of tea.
Sister.
Threepence a pound.
I don't-
Threepence a pound. And they destroyed those men dressed as naturals, those Mohawk Indians, those Sons of Liberty as they call themselves. They destroyed 10,000.
But it's not fair that we do not get a say in
In
these
the
taxes.
taxes specifically, sir. Aye.
Yes, we do not get a say. He does not let us get a say. So it is taxation without representation, which is unfair.
Here, here.
Fair, and it is not fair that he will not give us a say in these taxes. And so those colonists that dumped that tea were revolting against that against the tax on tea. They were protesting, showing that they knew that they were showing that they felt like that was right. That they felt like that was the way they should show their fury at that tax.
But, my dear friend, what about the merchant whose tea it was? For it was not the king's tea. It was not Parliament's tea. It was the merchant's tea that they stole and destroyed. What about them? I used to be a business owner. Would you have said the same if those people dressed as naturals had invaded my home, taken out all of my furniture, all of my glassware, all of my clothes, burned them in the street to say, this is what we will do to the king? Am I going to get that back?
It depends on when you bring those things in, Sarah. It wasn't simply for the fact it was tea and they don't like the flavor.
My brother Johnny, I will recall to you some wisdom imparted to us by our grandfather when we were very small, and that is, it is easy to be generous with somebody else's money.
It is the foul flavor of taxation without representation that they are spitting out of their mouths.
A politician in the making,
Indeed,
Master Ezra.
indeed.
You are a poet, sir, and I admire your passion. You and I may not agree on all of these things, my friend, but that is for a number of reasons. One, we are very different, aren't we?
Yes, no two people are the same, just as no two snowflakes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Indeed,
I will
indeed.
say, though, what I enjoy very much about conversation with you, Master Ezra, is that we can both, I think, understand that the other person's perspective is their perspective. And we can disagree, and yet I think we are able to keep this conversation civil, even though we might become very passionate about it.
Yes, because there is a way to disagree without fighting.
Yes.
It's
My brother and I aren't always very good at that.
No,
I
we're
call this
practicing.
disagreeing agreeably. I know that might sound like tomfoolery.
No, not the
Not at all,
slightest,
not the
young
slightest.
Ezra.
Disagreeing
Agreeably.
agreeably.
Yes. And as long as you keep talking civilly
Indeed.
to each other, that's the important thing.
Which you have conducted yourself better in your decorum than any adult I've ever discussed these politics with.
Very true.
Do you
My
know-
sister included, if that's all right. Sarah.
By all means, I defer to Mr. Ezra. I will say that while you and Mr. Henry do seem to share some of the same opinions, I would rather have you in my parlor than Mr. Henry anyway.
Here, here.
Mr. Henry is a demagogue, and you must remember, my friends, that Mr. Henry is a politician, and Mr. Henry isn't keen on remaining at the seat. And he...
Others who say that to be under British rule without freedom of government is to be dead.
Is the same thing?
Is there
that
no
Cato?
other option than treason or death? Is there not peace? Is there not compromise?
What
Is
you
there
used
not
to say
patience?
reconciliation.
Reconciliation, yes.